I still don't know if what I saw that night was real, or if it crawled out of a dream I wasn't supposed to wake up from. It started 3 nights after my little sister got sick. She was 10, feverish, pale, whispering to herself in her sleep. Mum said it was the flu, but the way she stared at the corner of her room like she was watching something move didn't feel like the flu. We shared a wall. Every night I could hear her talking softly through the plaster. Sometimes it sounded like giggles. Other times, like she was answering someone. The third night, I woke up to her voice. But this time, there was another voice with hers. A rasping, broken whisper. Old, dry. I sat up, heart pounding. The house was silent, except for those voices. "Stop tickling me," my sister giggled. I froze. I pressed my ear to the wall. The other voice was laughing too, a wheezing, rattling sound. I ran to her door. The hallway was pitch black. Only a faint light spilled from her cracked door. I pushed it open slowly. "Hey," I whispered. "You okay?" No answer. The air smelled damp, metallic, like wet coins and rot. My sister was sitting up in bed, smiling, looking toward the corner. At first, I thought she was playing with her stuffed bear. Then the bear moved. No, something behind it moved. A shape hunched low beside her bed. It was an old woman. Her back curved like a question mark, her skin gray and tight, her hair thin and white, hanging over a face I could barely see, except for her mouth. That awful mouth. It stretched too far, like it was pulled open from both sides, and she was smiling. My sister giggled again. She said she wants to tell you something. The woman turned her head, slowly, like cracking wood, and looked at me. Her eyes were black, not empty, swirling like ink in water. She blinked once and whispered, "You shouldn't be awake." The lights flickered. Suddenly, the room was empty. Just my sister, blinking up at me as if she'd just woken from a dream. "What's wrong?" she mumbled. I didn't answer. I held her until morning. Mum didn't believe me, said I was stressed. But I knew what I saw, and I knew it wasn't gone. The next night, my sister started humming a tune I didn't know. It sounded old, like a broken music box, and every time she hummed, the air grew colder. The lights dimmed slightly, as if the sound itself was swallowing them. The tune followed me all night, even when I covered my ears. You ever hear a sound that feels alive? That's what it felt like. If you know that feeling, stay with me, because it only gets worse. The next morning, my sister had dark circles under her eyes. She was sitting on my bed again, she said. She sang to me. "Who?" I asked. "The lady who smells like rain." That smell, wet cloth and iron, hit me again. I searched the room. Nothing, but above her bed, 5 long scratches marked the wall, deep and deliberate. That night, I refused to sleep. I sat in the hallway, flashlight in hand. Around 3 a.m., the temperature dropped. The humming started again. I crept to her door and looked inside. The window was open. My sister was asleep, and sitting at the edge of her bed was her, the old woman, her back to me, humming. "Leave her alone," I whispered. The humming stopped. The woman's head turned, too slowly. Her neck cracked. She looked at me over her shoulder. "She's mine now." I ran into the room, swinging the flashlight. It passed right through her. The air went cold. Then she vanished. My sister woke up screaming. Didn't recognize me at first. For 2 days she wouldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she said the old woman was closer, whispering, waiting. The doctor said sleep paralysis, stress, imagination. But the third night, I found proof. I heard footsteps. I ran to her room. She was asleep, peaceful. Then I saw the dent in her bed. Like someone invisible was sitting there. The humming started again from under the bed. I looked and saw two pale hands gripping the mattress, and a face, upside down, grinned back at me. The old woman. "She's almost ready," she whispered. I screamed, pulled my sister out, dragged her into the hallway. Mum came running and froze when she saw the walls, covered in handprints, hundreds of them, child-sized, pressed in ash. We left that night, stayed in a motel for a week. My sister stopped talking, wouldn't sleep unless the lights were on. I thought it was over, until the fourth night. That smell again, wet cloth, metal, rot, and humming. I turned my head. The old woman was sitting on my sister's bed again, this time facing me, her mouth open, but the sound came from her chest. She leaned over my sister and whispered, "Almost done." I shouted. Her head snapped toward me. Her body twisted, bones cracking. She crawled toward me, limbs jerking like a puppet. I stumbled back. She stopped in front of me, close enough that I could feel her breath, cold and sweet like rotting flowers. "Do you want to trade?" she hissed. "1 for 1? She grabbed my wrist. Her skin burned like ice. When I tore free, 5 perfect cuts lined my arm. They didn't bleed. They sizzled. She smiled and vanished. My sister screamed awake. The motel's staff rushed in, but they smelled nothing, heard nothing. We moved again to our aunt's house. She burned everything we owned, but the humming followed. At night, when the house is quiet, I still hear it. Sometimes I see her shadow move along the wall. My sister doesn't sleep anymore. She just whispers by the window. Once I asked who she was talking to. She smiled and said, "She misses you." I've started seeing something too. In the corner of every reflection, the edge of a gray face, the blur of white hair. It disappears when I blink, but it's there. Waiting. Last night, I woke up. My sister's bed was empty, and on my bed sat the old woman, humming, smiling, holding my sister's hair in her hand. Then she whispered, "She traded after all." And when I tried to scream, it came out in her voice. "If you made it this far, you've already invited her in. Don't look behind you, not yet. Just breathe. And when you're ready, press play on the next story. Because once you start hearing the humming, you'll want to know how it ends."